Okay, so now let's go quickly talk about some of the drawbacks and the negatives that Delhi have, some of the loopholes that Delhi have in their squad. Um, so, firstly, that's something that comes to mind is obviously they've tried to buy Stoinis and go for the likes of Kimo Paul, and they've backed Kimo Paul and Stoinis to do the job at the back end of the innings in terms of the finish, as far as the finishing is concerned. Having Maxwell, they tried with Maxwell, they failed. So now that's a huge matter of concern for me because they don't have a lot of all rounders. They don't have a lot of variety in that sense. So that's not a loophole, but something they could potentially improve on. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they don't have that one quality finisher, maybe like a Russell or a Pollard, who can just come in and smash the ball from ball one. Obviously, you do have the likes of Pant and Hetmaya, who probably will play most of the latter uh, part of the innings. But suppose if they have both have an off day and the bowling attack is really going through the Delhi lineup, then I think you need that. Finisher at the back end who can get you to a respectable total.
Yeah,
So I think
absolutely.
that is, I mean, Stoinis is there, but he's not one of the best finishers. I'd say he's pretty decent, but not as good as the likes of Russell, Pollard. So I think that's one minor drawback. I think they have enough batsmen to play the end of
I
end
wouldn't,
the
I
last
wouldn't,
second.
I wouldn't even call it a drawback. It's like you could improve on it to make a perfect squad if you
Perfect
will.
11. Yeah, I think because the last 10 overs will probably be played by the top one of the top five because they're that good. So it's not really a drawback as such. But yeah, if obviously if you're looking at the perfect lineup, then
Yeah.
maybe if they get someone like a Russell in there, then I think they'll be impossible to beat.
Yeah.
So
There's no, it's no, I mean, no team is perfect, obviously, but we're just trying to
right.
see how we can make it even better. And lastly, coming to the second and the only drawback slash loophole that I feel is the lack of experienced campaigners in the death bowling. Because death bowling
Yeah.
has become so vital, it can really be the difference in the game. We've seen in a lot of games in the IPL that go down to the wire, and due to lack of quality finishers and quality death bowlers, it may be 48 of 15 balls and you end up conceding it. And we've seen it so many times in the IPL, time and time again. Against especially a few matches that come to mind, Russell against RCB. What, 56 of 16 odd balls and he ends up making it. I mean, that's a different league because he's Russell. Let's keep him a little apart from this.
I think they have Rabada at one end, but to partner with Rabada, I don't think there's anyone. They have Avesh Khan, they have Ishant Sharma, but I think Ishant Sharma is going to bowl four on the trot in the power play, or maybe three and one in the middle.
They
But
want him to make inroads early with a new ball. I think that's his main role in the team,
right.
Ishant Sharma.
So other than Rabada, I don't see anyone else to partner with. So they have Harshal Patel, they have Avesh Khan, but they're not too experienced.
Yeah.
So I think that is one minor problem that they have as well. I think if Nokia is able to play with Rabada, even though I think it's a less, the chances are less. But then again, if the likes of Kimo Paul and Daniel Sams are playing, then I think the death bowling can be pretty good because the slower balls and the cutters that both of them bowl will go well with the fast chokers of Rabada. But then the problem comes: which four foreigners do they play? So
Yeah.
that is what they have to get right within the first few games, so that they're not struggling to get their combination right till the end. I think that's very important to get their four foreigners who are going to play right in the first few games, which will help them do well.
Talking about the four foreigners, guys will be soon coming to our personal playing 11s for that first match that Delhi will be playing, and we'll be individually making them. So we don't know what the other person is making. So stay tuned for that. And the last and the third point, which is that Delhi should be considering, very important. It is the experience in the middle order. If you see, they have experience. I won't call Prithvi Shaw experienced, but if you will, he is experienced. Shikhar Dhawan is experienced. Obviously, he's been throughout the whatever 12 years of the IPL. He's been there. Then there is what Shreyas Iyer. He's experienced. Pant, do I call him experienced? maybe
Yeah,
not.
for
I
me in the
personally don't.
IPL, he's one of the best Indian batsmen who's
See,
playing because
the
consistently scores over five, four to like he's been in the top five run scorers for the past few years. Like since he started playing in 2016, 17, 18, 19 has been his years. So for me, he's one of the best Indian players in the IPL.
okay, I agree with the run scoring part, but I personally feel there can be times in the game where he is a little immature with his shot selection, and he can get a little, you know, too. He can try to be a little too explosive and go for his shots even on the first ball of the innings, and it can be harmful in that sense if he comes early on in the innings, tries to play his natural game. I personally don't believe in the concept of a natural game because I feel as a international cricketer, you should be playing to the needs of the team. And a natural game, which, if we all know, having watched cricket, is slogging or going after the bowling, is not required in a time in the game or a passage in the game. I feel it should not be done. I think international player, should be playing to the needs of the team rather than, if obviously if it gets the best out of them, if going after the bowling gets out of them, gets best out of them, then do that. But you should be catering to the needs of the team rather than focusing on what comforts you. But
Yeah, I think at the international level, Pant still has a lot to learn, and I'm sure he will learn, and he has a bright future ahead. But talking solely about the IPL, I really don't think he has experienced this that what you're talking about because he usually comes after the 10th over, and the situation is such where he is only meant to slog. Um, Maybe at the 10th or the 15th, especially after the 15th over, he's meant to only slog. And it's worked for him for the last 3 years. It's really worked for him. And on most occasions than not, he has been the main man to stand up for the team. So I can remember a few games against Rajasthan. It was a low scoring game, but I think he scored a very gritty 50. Uh, so he does have the potential to be a great match winner, not only for Delhi Capitals but also for India. But I'm sure he's only 22 years of age, and I'm sure he'll learn from his mistakes. And I think he's the future superstar
But
to
in
look
short,
out
what I
for.
meant was an outsider's perspective. He's
Yeah,
not that rock solid wall that you can actually depend on, in my view.
not at the
Um,
moment. Not at the moment. I
not the
would
mo-
agree with you.
Yeah,
But I think he'll learn from it. He's still young. He
yeah.
has
He's
a
on
lot
his
of
way
years
to
to learn.
becoming that
Right.
dependable, Mr. Dependable, but
Right.
he's not yet, in my opinion.
Not yet.
Um,
Not yet. I agree
so,
with you. Yeah.
considering Carey's never played in the IPL, Shimron Atman didn't have the best season last year, so he's coming with that backlog in his head. He's got that clouded head in that sense because not having done well for RCB, he must be scared to be dropped again. So that must be playing in his head. Then who else do they have? They have Nokia. They have Stoinis.
Rabada.
Stoinis again is in that sort of dicey space at the moment, headspace, because he also doesn't know exactly where he's heading in terms of his IPL career, because RCB sacked
Yeah,
him quite early.
I
Delhi, who
think
knows?
the England Australia series will help him get his form back. So if he's performing well against England, I think he'll come automatically into the playing 11 for DC. But then he'll have to. I think he's playing cricket after a long time now, since the lockdown has been there. So I think this Australia series is quite important to him.
Yeah.
And I think if he does well, he'll in the England series he'll come back into the he'll be a fixed player in the playing 11 for DC as well. So
Okay, so that was the boring bit. But now let's come to the final 11 that we have constructed individually. Now, I can go first. I'll read out my 11 quickly. That I feel should be playing in the first match
and the
against
viewers
West.
can see both playing 11s on the screen.
Yeah,
So
we'll
and
put it up.
comment down below which one you feel was better. I'm probably it might even be the same. Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah. So I have got. It's getting interesting now. I'm going with Prithvi, Shikhar / Rahane. Considering Shikhar has come off an injury, he's not been in the midst of cricket of late. So you can go with Rahane if you want. You have that slight option with you. Number 3, I'll go with Iyer. Number 4, I'll play Pant. Number 5, the explosiveness of Hetmeyer. He can go bang, bang, bang in the middle overs, get you some quick runs there. And then I've got Stoinis to do a little bit of both with the finishing aspect, because that's something Delhi has been focusing on. So he'll do the finishing for you. And on the slowish surfaces of in the UAE, he can really help with his slingy bowling action. His medium paces can really help you out, and his cutters are decent too. Then I have Lamichane. I think it's really important to have a quality spinner in spinning conditions, especially like the UAE. Having a quality spinner is a must. And having seen Lamichane's track record, he's an ideal pick, hands down. Then from one good spinner to the other, I've chosen Ravichandran Ashwin. I think with his leadership skills first, and secondly his quality spin, he's developed a leg spinner as well now, so he's got variety in that way. And obviously with the bat, if he can provide something, that's an added bonus. But he'll also contribute to DC's leadership group, which is already quite strong, with having Rahane, Ashwin, their current captain, then Ricky Ponting. So they've got quite a team to beat. Then I'm moving forward to the pace battery. Oh, actually, I have another spinner. I'm going with 3 spinners. I have Amit Mishra too. If you saw, I think it was David Warner who said Mishra on Delhi track, because they'll be playing 7 games in Delhi. Mishra is as lethal as they come. So
I think if you see record-wise as well, Mishra has the best record. I think he has the most number of wickets. I think he has 3 hat-tricks in the IPL.
Yeah.
If you look at the record, I think Mishra, solely based on the records, he's the best spinner.
So Mishra's got a very good googly too. So I think he varies it up very, very flights the ball. So on slowish surfaces, he's a great pick. Then coming to the pace attack now. I've got obviously undoubtedly Kagiso Rabada. He's a must. The way he bowled in that super over, in terms of the death bowling, he does the job more often than not. And with the new ball also, with his pace and everything, he's lethal. Then finally, Ishant Sharma. The prowess of Ishant Sharma's bowling, swing bowling he's come a long way in that way. And yeah, up front he's very good as well with the ball coming back in. But I doubt you can switch him up with Avesh Khan if you are skeptical about the fact that he might get smashed and the pace the wickets aren't as pace friendly, because Ishant doesn't bowl express pace either. So there are chances that the batsman may get the better of him. So keeping that in mind, you can either go with Avesh Khan or Ishant Sharma.
Yeah, that's why I think DC has a very good backup, has a very good group of backup players. Because if you have to replace Ishant, you have Avesh Khan. If you have to replace an Indian spinner for a foreign spinner, you have Lamichane, or the other way around. Then you have the likes of Kemo Paul, Daniel Sams to do the job.
Daniel Sams is a very good pick. He's the highest wicket taker in the BBL.
The BBL. So I think they have a great bench strength as well.
And if you're concerned about that death bowling aspect, if you're especially playing against explosive heavyweight teams like KKR, who've got a very good lower order, such as Russell especially, and in recent times he's been the most explosive batsman in world cricket. So if you're concerned about that, you can have the likes of Nokia along with Rabada if you want. So they've got great variety in that regard. So yeah, that was my 11. Let me know what you think about it. Now, Neil, you can go with yours.
I think mine's pretty similar. It's Prithvi, Shikhar, Shreyas Pant, Hetmeyer at 5. Then you have at 6, I think it's a 50-50 for me. I think Stoinis might play, but if you want to have a more decent death bowling attack, you'd probably play an Indian all-rounder, either a Harshal Patel or an Akshar Patel there, and which lets you play Kemo Paul / Daniel Sams to pair with Rabada at the death bowling. So I think my 11 is pretty similar, with Ishant Sharma, Mishra, and Ashwin playing as well. But I think I might switch around Stoinis for Harshal Patel, which gives me leeway to play Kemo Paul or Daniel Sams. But I think my 11 is pretty similar to yours, except for a couple of minor tweaks.
Subsequently, it's time for our prediction of where DC, what is DC's position in the table. That is our projection. So I personally will go with. It's quite difficult with how some of the players that other teams have bought, but I don't want Delhi to qualify because it may consume my one of my favorite team spots. So
Right.
I'm a little skeptical on that, but yeah, I think they'll come fourth on the table.
Okay. Okay. But by the way, what was your RCB prediction in the last video?
I think they'll come fifth or sixth. I'll go with fifth.
Okay. Okay. So my RCB prediction was eighth. For me, I think they're gonna. I'd said bottom four, but for me, I'm gonna say eighth.
Okay.
For Delhi Capitals, it's they're definitely. So I'm an SRH supporter, and my second favorite team is Delhi. But for me, I think I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they're gonna win this year. I would have said top two or top three, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Delhi
Wait,
Capitals are gonna win the IPL this year.
that's a bold claim.
So
I wouldn't go for that. I mean,
it's a bold statement, but uh, I think they've had a drought for 12 years now. I think they deserve to win the trophy once, especially because now they have such a balanced squad with Indian and foreign mix. And obviously, there's a bit of heart in this as well because they're my second favorite team.
yeah.
But I think I'm going to say Delhi Capitals to win this year. So
Yeah, so that's it from us, guys. Do let us know where your favorite teams are going to stand. What do you think your favorite teams are going to stand this IPL? Let us know how excited you are, because we personally are really excited. After this 5 months straight of no cricket, we're really excited to see a little bit of cricket, especially in India, with some of our favorite superstars of the game being playing. So, yeah, that is it from us. Do like this video, do give this thumbs up, and do subscribe to our channel for more content such as this. And yeah, that's it from us. Do look out for some of the other videos we're putting out in this series, where we are analyzing some of the other teams in the IPL as well. So look out if your favorite team is being analyzed too. So yeah, that's it
and
from us.
subscribe to know what we have to say about the other teams as well.
Yeah. So look forward to that. And yeah, that's it from us. See you guys in a bit. Take care. And peace.
It's like it's playtime and it's free time. In the dance, yeah, they have to take a glance. So we stepping out the room.